here is where things stand right now with the KURSK Submarine panels. In previous videos, I did this section right here. I modeled it and I textured it. I have removed those textures and gone on and modeled the other parts. All right, although they're at various angles, I've done pretty much everything except for this piece here, which will be an alpha of some sort in Substance Painter. And I have removed, although I have, the glass and the needle that I've modeled for here. All right, so there's no glass right now, or there's no backing material or geometry that I'm going to have in the dials and in this radar screen. I'm just looking at two main things right now: buttons, and I've got a label for buttons, and in that material I put the bolts or screws, the dial sort of borders or whatever you call those, the actual buttons, the handles, everything except the bodies of the panels. So this is body panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, and panel 4. Now what I'm proposing to do, and I haven't done this to be quite honest with you, is to use the Udims, I made a video of that last time, in order to maximize the UV resolution, and also to keep some consistency in order to bring in so much geometry into Substance Painter and to keep the panels all consistently the same. I know I can create a smart material, but I'm going to try it this way. I have a feeling this is the way to go, but it's going to take some time, but I hope it'll be worth it in the end. All I really want to accomplish in this video is to unwrap all this stuff, and it's not going to be complicated unwrapping, and some of it is already unwrapped. And really what I've done is I've just copied, you know, the screws and stuff. But if I come in here and I look at these dials, the same dials are down here and the same buttons. So a lot of this stuff is unwrapped, and I guess I unwrapped the handle, and some of these things aren't, but we'll see how I do with that. So what I want to do is unwrap stuff, decide on what UV tile I want to put it, and bring it in and put some basic materials on and get started. All right, so we're gonna give that a try. So I'm gonna pop over here, and let's start with some panel stuff. So for example, I'm gonna call this panel 1. All right, I'm going to call that panel 1. And if I just say let's do cube projection. And I'm going to use UV Pack Master. If I pack it like that, it's pretty nicely packed. If I then press N, View, and I come up to here, I can see Udim Grid. Now, yeah, it has been brought to my attention that this has moved to other locations in other recent versions of Blender. I believe it is up under the overlays here. All right, you just got to search your software. I can't cover every version of Blender and know where things are. At any rate, I'm going to bring this up to about 5 and see where we get. And I think what I'll do is I will take this, and this would be UV tile 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. I know that I'm going to want some buttons in various UV squares, so I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to come into this one with that piece, and I'm going to cube project as well, and I will pack. I'm going to take all this stuff, GX, and I'm going to move it down here. Now I'm going to, you have to be careful not to go over the line, so I'm going to actually make it a little bit smaller. And that, you know, hopefully is going to be okay between the two of them. Okay, so I am now devoting a lot of space. Then there may be some extra space that I'll use to throw in the odd piece as well. All right, let's come up to this one. Let's see what happens if I didn't really unwrap that. What if I cube project that? I have no idea if that would look nice or not. Doesn't look too bad. That may be okay. Let's try GX. Let's try moving that down here and scaling it down a bit. We'll come out. Okay, so I've got those three. I have one more panel to do. I'm just going to start moving it down. No, I guess I can't. As soon as I pack, it moves. There might be something that says don't move it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. GX. Into here. I'm going to scale it a small amount. In fact, I'll come back to here and I'll scale that a small amount too. So everything's scaled a small amount. Save. Okay, so I have done that stuff. Now let's start looking at other things that I can do. There's not much more I can do with this, so I might as well start putting stuff in here. So I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to try just unwrap. Those aren't critical, and that is probably going to be just fine anyhow. Maybe a small bit smaller. Yeah, that's going to be just a solid kind of material, like a trackball thing or whatever. Okay, so that's done on there. Let's see what else I could put on there. There's a lot of stuff. I want to keep a lot of this stuff together. We got the handles. Well, let's see. I don't need it quite that big, so I think for the handles I could probably do that. And I'll do the other one. I'll put that in there, and I'll just make it a similar size. If they're not exactly the same, no one is ever going to notice that, I don't think. Okay. So far, so good. So I've got button and knobs to do. How about these ones here? Now, they don't need to be huge. They're pretty small, but I wouldn't mind. I think I'm going to start populating this area here. So I will make them a bit bigger. And in particular, it's the ends that need to be kind of large, because they're going to have, you know, a white color. Oops. And so, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to select them, and I'm going to come up to individual origins, and I'm going to scale them up. So hopefully they'll look nice. Let's do that for now. Let's see what else we can put in there. I'm going to start forgetting what I have. Maybe the toggle switches will go in there as well, because they're going to have a little end on them that's going to, well, they got a few parts to them. Let's just look around. How about these things instead? 3 of them. Let's see if we can get all that. Let's try just unwrap and pull them over. scale them down a bit. Oh yeah, individual origins. That should be fine for those. So what part am I getting? The tops, eh? Well, those are larger than than these things here. Very, very small, and I'm not too concerned about them. So let's see. Let's just make a bit more room here. See if I can nudge these over a little bit. I didn't do too much. Yeah, I mean, I'm not packing things in super efficiently. I'm just doing, you know, my thing. Okay. I need more space, although I could use some of this, couldn't I? Let's see, the bolts, there's quite a few of them. You know what, maybe between all of this, maybe I could do something with those toggle switches. Now let's just do the tops first. The top parts, and see how we do. Okay, I missed that part. There we go, the three of them. You see how small these come out to be? Definitely want those larger. I mean, they're just going to take a white color, so they don't have to be very large, and they are very, very small, but just a little bit of an increase. Now, I am putting them on different UV tiles, and I hope that's not going to cause me any grief. Put that there. Yeah, maybe I could do this. Is there something in there that I care about? No. I'm not worried if they're not the exact same size or anything, because I mean, that's not going to be noticeable. It may not be good practice, but it's not going to be noticeable. I just don't want them too different. Now I'm not sure what to do with that. Unless I could take this piece. No, I don't think. Well, if I put that there, put those there, and maybe I can make all of these a little tiny bit smaller. Let's do this. Okay, now that I've done that, I will go back and make them a little bit bigger where I can. They don't need to be side by side on the UV map. Some people might want them that way, but I don't need that. Okay, it's just a question of what have I not done? That. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it takes time. It's taking time. I mean, this is like 4 models in one or whatever. What if I had those in here? One there. Not quite, eh? Well, maybe I can move these. I mean, yeah, I can make more UV tiles. It's just I'm going to have to deal with the materials for all of these, and it will take a little bit extra work. So I'm just, again, for the first time, I'm doing a bigger one. We're just going to see how this goes. Let's go ahead and add another tile. Let's do all of these buttons here. Not the most judicious use of space, but if I select all that, I should have everything unwrapped. Whether I did a good job, I don't know, but we're going to give this a try, aren't we? Okay, that took a long time. All right, 2 materials, button and body, and a whole bunch of UV tiles, and it's time to give this a try. I'm going to select everything here, and I'm going to export this as 1FBX. I'm now opening this, and I need to check use UV tile workflow. Open. There it is. And look at all the UV tiles that have come in. Body and buttons. Okay, so I've got 15 UV tiles. Great. I'm going to bake the mesh maps. I'm going to bake them at 2K, uncheck ID, bake. Okay, it's finished baking, and I'm looking for problems, errors. Not seeing anything obvious right now. It definitely took a couple minutes to bake. So I'm going to save this right now, and then we'll move on. I'm not sure, maybe around these handles, but yeah, that's looking odd. Maybe I didn't even unwrap them or something. I'm not sure, but I'm not concerned about those. This is we can do this, and if everything goes well, I can fix that up pretty easily. All right. Well, you can also see that there are 4 normal maps. And, there are a number of different maps related to the body and to the buttons. Okay, well, let's start with the body here. All right, I've got the body selected. I'm going to deselect there. And I have a smart material for what I had done last time, but I may have some extra stuff in there. Let's try throwing that in. Actually, I should just have dirt, scratches. I think I won't need that. Let's get rid of that. And the base. So let's see how nice this looks based on the fact that I gave the body panels a lot of room. I definitely get better consistency this way. All right, it's not tiling, or just repeating. It's putting it on all of them. And this is at 1K. All right. 1024. So yeah, okay. And the nice thing about this is, of course, I could come in here if I wanted to, and I could just change the overall color globally pretty easily, and it would do all panels at once. So Well, let's go ahead and try just throwing on a material for, that's the base. I'll leave that like that for the screws. Now, really, let's see. That's going to be on the button layer, right? Yeah. And see, this is what I wanted, these outlines. And I wanted the buttons on a separate layer so that I could come in here and I can do the indents like I did previously. We'll get to that in a bit. Let's just try throwing something on the buttons. And let's do, like if I look for materials or metal, and I'm thinking of a different, I did iron shiny. Now, maybe I'll stick with that. It'll throw it on all of the buttons, and some of them I have to work on the smoothing or whatever. I may go ahead with that, or do I want to use one of the darker, see what that one looks like that. Yeah, I don't like the brushed aspect of that. And steel rough. Maybe that's the one I'm going to end up using. And just, you know, the my first impressions is I'm liking the density, the clarity, the resolution on things. So okay, let's go ahead and not do that. Let's go ahead and put on a black mask, and I will start masking off these buttons. I'm going to do by mesh, and I'm just going to start selecting just the bolts, because the screw, you know, the buttons and the knobs aren't going to be metal like this. So I'm just going to go through here and select these, and I won't get too much more done in this video. We'll start doing some of the indents, I think, and we'll see, because this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this technique, is have the buttons and the knobs and everything and the bolts on one layer and have it all together so I could have the consistency. And then I need to go away and think about this and way to streamline it, and then I'll come back and we'll do more. Now, is there anything else I want to make metal? Just out of curiosity, what if these were metal, and how are they looking? Let's try both of those. That one didn't take it. Yeah, there's a problem with those. All right, so I'll work on that. It's looking fine, though. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see, on the body layer, hiding the buttons. Do I want to hide the buttons? No, I don't think I need to hide the buttons. Okay, right above here, I'm going to do this as just a paint layer with color and height. And I'm going to do this dark and drop this maybe about almost a third or so. And yeah, we'll go into orthographic, and I'll turn on symmetry as well, and that'll speed things up a little bit. Let's do a test, a bit bigger. Let's just do a test and see how our mirror is doing. Yeah, okay, and that's roughly what I'm going to want, I think. Just keep it the same size for all of them. Come on. All right, I'm just going to go with that. And I'm going to put them on, and I'm not going to worry too much about being exactly central, because I kind of want the odd one to be off to the side a little bit. If that happens, I'm not necessarily going to go for it on purpose, but I'm going to do it, and hopefully we get the impression that they are, you know, embedded a little bit. So we get that. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you know, you see a little bit of that. All right, fine. I'll take it. All right, and let's see. Can I do a little bit more? Can I maybe do these knobs here and just give it a try? You know, just like last time, I'm going to switch to a circle and see if it's sharper or if it's just me. Make it a little bit bigger and see. Not sure that I should really be doing this in black, but I'm going to do it anyhow. Not really liking that. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I can easily get rid of it if I don't like it. I kind of do though. And yeah, I'm just going to do a bunch of this kind of thing. Let's just go for it. So if I got circles, I'm doing them. And then I'll leave it at that for the video. We'll come back and hopefully a little bit wiser. Let's get all these guys here. Yeah, okay. A little bit off here and there, so it, you know, looks a little bit more realistic, I think, to me. We're orthographic right now. It'll be a nightmare to do those, and that's one of the reasons why this method is. I'm liking it, but there's aspects of it that I think maybe I'm not. I don't have a good workflow yet. Well, I'll come up with something though, and I'll eventually get something that'll work. I'm gonna indent those, or the big one down there. I don't know what to do about this. So that's part of buttons. I wonder if I can do this and reveal that and see if I like that, a thing like that. I might. So it's getting in the way. So let's try this. Let's just make it smaller. And let's do that. And that, oh, I probably should be using a mirror, but I might as well do it. Why not? Alright, let's bring that back. I don't know if I even need that. Yeah, let's see. Okay, save. Let's go into perspective and check out our work. But just to show you what we'll need to do on the button layer as well is, I still think I'll just use a paint layer with maybe just height, and we'll use a basic hard brush, and I'll start at the bottom. I'll put it in orthographic and symmetry, and let's give this a try. Nah, if I do it in symmetry, they're going to be equal. What I'm getting at is this, like I did last time. If I do that, then they're equal. I don't think I can do it that way. So I think I'm going to have to go around and just manually do this kind of thing. You know, I can use an alpha and stamp like an X-like thing, like a Phillips, but then I got to rotate it every time. And I don't know. This seems like it's good enough. It just takes time. All right, anyhow. But we are getting consistency by doing it this way. Because there's no way I could have brought in a model this big with these panels and you know, and had any kind of decent resolution. And of course, it's got to go up to 2K. I am seeing, you know, it's not perfect. So let's see if I got all those. Let's go back into orthographic. Yeah, we'll put dirt on there. We'll do. There's a bunch of things we need to do. Let's just see if I can up-res this and how stable my machine is with this. Okay, I'm going to go to 2K. Well, that was nothing. I don't know why it was so fast. Like it's like it wants to be at 2K. Okay, it's not bad. Better than it would be. Better than it would be otherwise. All right, so there's the project so far. All right, let's maximize that. Let's turn on anti-aliasing for the moment. Where is it? Let's activate a color profile and just look at it like that. You can, of course, play with the HDR and try different HDRs. Yeah, we've got a lot of materials to do, but it can go kind of quickly though. And you know, once I throw some dirt on those buttons, it'll go into the screws. I may not even have to do anything about this. We'll see. Oh, I was in orthographic, that's why I was looking on. Okay, there it is. All right, sorry that took so long, but we'll come back and we'll just start throwing materials on this and hopefully get it to look nice.